making music, almost. It's not like I can just stop making stuff, and believe me, I've tried that. Ooh. Thankfully, there's Ko-fi. You probably know about all the ways that you can support independent creators like Patreon, OnlyFans, stapling a $5 to pigeons. Platforms like Patreon are amazing if you want to offer something exclusive to your fans every single month, but I don't want people's access to the music I make and the tutorials I make to be limited by their income. I want my stuff to be available for free, but my accountant tells me that that's a really bad business model. And that's why I made this Ko-fi account. If you're lucky enough to have a bit of spare cash floating around and you've enjoyed or made use of anything I've made over the years, you can buy me a coffee, or you can contribute towards new computer hardware, guitar strings, you know, all those things that are necessary to music creation but that aren't free. If you make music professionally or as a hobbyist, I hope you take a moment to check out my YouTube channel or my Twitter account, and if you like what you see there and have the means to do so, I hope you'll consider supporting me on Ko-fi. See you later.
Got to get that stinger fixed. One of these days I'll get around to it. How's it going, internet? Liam Taylor here, LTGuitarist. We got a fun show lined up today. I didn't mean to start it off looking like some weird gremlin at a control panel, and now I'm rambling. Hello. Okay, today we're talking about a specific plugin that I have been sent a gratis copy of. We're talking about Thickify by Rocket Powered Sound. So I want to get the whole disclosure thing out of the way nice and early. This is a sponsored stream. The folks at Rocket Powered Sound haven't given me money, but they have given me store credit, a free license to Thickify, and an affiliate code. Nailed it. But as you probably know already, I don't endorse products unless I actually use them. If I'm trying something out, I'll be, you know, really upfront about, let's try this out. Oh, this didn't work. Yada, yada, yada. And that's one of the beauties of doing something like this as a live stream, is that you get to watch me try stuff out. And some of it will work, some of it won't work. That's kind of the fun of it. I have kind of played around with it just so I've got some of my facts in order. I've got a couple of cool things I want to show you. But yeah, I just want to be really clear. I don't endorse things that I either don't use. I don't say nice things about something unless I actually think there's value to them. So there's nothing dodgy happening here. If you were worried about dodginess, you need not. My volume is a little bit hot there. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. And apologies for starting a little bit late. There were 3 very important cables that, for no apparent reason, were unplugged. Let's jump in. Let's load up Thickify. Let's play around with it a little bit. Oh, good. There's 2 codes there. That clearly doesn't work, does it? That's nice. Why is that done that twice? I wonder if I can fix that whilst also talking. Possibly not. So I kind of get the impression that Thickify as a plugin is kind of aimed at EDM producers, dubstep producers, house producers, trap producers. So there's already like a handful of videos of the plugin being used in that context that you are welcome to go and find for yourself if you want to. So I figured we'd try and use it here in some other contexts. So we're going to do 2 things in this stream. Firstly, we're going to play around with the effect. I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to see what it does. And we're going to maybe stick like a basic sine wave through it and like try to visualize what's actually happening when we use the plugin. I think that's going to be fun. Do a bit of analysis there, and then if time allowing, we're going to create some music prominently featuring this particular plugin. Let me have a little look there. Okay, there's no reason for that to have done that. That's fine. We'll just let that happen. So those little codes are going to pop up every now and again. That's a link to the Rocket Powered Sound website, and if you use the code Liam46655, you get 10% off, and I get a little bit of income through that as well, which is mighty cool. We also have the chat command Thickify. If you want that code, there it is, just in case you hadn't got that link already. Alrighty, let's jump into it a little bit. Let's load it up. I'm going to load it up on to get started with maybe a drum pattern. So we'll come into here. We'll make a little bit of something inside of Studio Drummer, because that's the drum kit we always use. Just create a little loop there. Something nice and simple. Let's play some hi-hats out. That could be a bit louder, couldn't it? Bum, 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 bum. Let's kick, snare, kick, snare. Nothing. We don't want anything especially groundbreaking. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's... That'll do. So, something I've been playing around with recently is trying to get nice kind of distorted crunchy drums. I've been listening to a lot of Beastie Boys, so I really like excuse me, I really like taking those kind of big rock drum parts and then trying to kind of distort them, turn them into samples, that kind of thing. My Ko-fi button's disappeared. Wonderful. God, it's all going right today, isn't it? It's all going right. No? Okay, you don't want to... There's another link, just in case you were worried there wasn't going to be another link. It's entirely possible I've overdone it on the links, by the way. What about this? Still not happening. Okay. All right. Well, I think the stream is just cursed, isn't it? But that's fine. Let's press on. So we got a little drum beat here. I'm not going to add in any other plugins for the moment. Jesus Christ, there's another one. I'm going to turn that off because that's clearly that's incredible. We're just going to get rid of all of them. Okay. Good one, Cloudbot. Absolutely magnificent work. So if you're lost for codes, there they are. Right, Rocket Powered Sound, FX Distortion, Thickify. Something I noticed yesterday that I absolutely adore about this, and this is something that I can't believe other plugins haven't really implemented. It's scalable. It's heckin' scalable. Why isn't every plugin scalable by default? And this is great because some of the plugins, especially some of the indie plugins I get sent, the interface is tiny, so I have to be like this far away from my screen in order to actually see it. But here, if I really want to, I can just do that, and then, you know, plenty big. And for streaming as well, like I know that this is coming through at 720, so actually having a bit more size to play with is really handy. So that's a huge plus in my books. So let's stop the drums for the moment. This character is called Johnny, apparently. Don't know if he has a surname. Johnny Thick with 2 C's, I would imagine is his surname. So, broadly, well, essentially, in like essence, this is a distortion plugin. So it takes a sound, it adds distortion the same way that stomp boxes, guitar amplifiers, any kind of clipping or gain-based plugin adds distortion. I personally think that distortion is incredibly underrated as a sound design tool. I think it's one of the easiest ways to dramatically alter a sound, and I think we should use more distortion. Like, it's really easy to think, oh, I want something wacky or crazy, so I'm going to use phasers or rotaries, or I'm going to filter the heck out of it. You can do a lot with distortion. And I also think it's really important to have 2 or 3 different distortion plugins available in your arsenal, because they apply distortion in very different ways. So if you can stack them to come up with something completely new, or you can use individual plugins, and there's nothing to say that your distortion is going to sound like the next person's distortion. So distortion in general is important. It's never going to be a disadvantage to have another kind of distortion available. So let's have a little look at the controls. The main one you want to check out is thickness in the middle here. This is the overall amount of distortion, which therefore dictates how many harmonics are added to your signal, and it also indicates how buff it also indicates how buff Lil Johnny is over here. We've also got tone. I'm going to walk you through these, and then I'm going to play with it, play with each of the settings with sounds. I think it's just important to get like a basic idea of what's going on first. Tone is kind of what it sounds like it is. You use it to pinpoint where in the frequency range you want to be adding harmonics. So if you want a more dense bass register, you kind of have it down here. If you want to add harmonics in the mid range, you have it here. In the upper range, you have it here. And that can be fun to sort of play around with. Stress is how upset this little chap is. Stress is the amount of input gain before your signal is affected, and when we come to play with it, it sounds a little bit like essentially a compressor, I guess, because you're keeping the output level the same, aren't you? But then you're putting more before that, so it kind of feels a bit like a nice compression there. Drive is the amount of distortion, really nice and straightforward. Level controls the overall output of the plugin. If your sound starts to peak or anything, you can bring this down a little bit. Alternatively, you can use the auto level button. And what's interesting is auto gain is actually quite hard to get right. So kudos to them for implementing it. Good job, folks. Oversampling is interesting. This is something I've only kind of been learning about recently, so apologies if I get this wrong. As far as I can understand it, oversampling is a way to basically protect the integrity of your sound whilst adding distortion. There's a video by White Sea Studios. I'm going to drop it in the chat. This is a video by White Sea Studios about the Thickify plugin. It's basically about the differences between this version of the plugin and the previous version of the plugin. What's changed in these different iterations, and I think I've pinpointed the time in that link. That is when he talks specifically in detail about what oversampling is, and he clearly has a much better handle on that than I do. So give that a watch if you want to know what oversampling is. You can have 2 times oversampling, 4 times, or none at all. And this has got really nice button feel as well. It just looks nice. So let's go and apply it to a sound. In terms of application, You could use this just like a distortion pedal. You can also use this distortion plugin, excuse me, if you have a loop or anything that sounds just a little bit weak, a little bit flimsy. This is a really straightforward way to make it thicker, to thickify, not a word, to thickify it. Especially because you can decide on the frequency range that you're affecting, which isn't always an option with distortion plugins. Sometimes you just get distortion and then you've got to deal with whatever frequency range it does. So let's give it a go. So we're just going to hit loop on this drum pattern. So let's go all the way slowly from minimum to maximum with nothing else. So it doesn't feel like it's doing anything until we get to the very, very maximum, at which point you can kind of hear it affecting the kick drum, which does sound denser. It sounds a little bit distorted. What if we move the tone then? That still feels like it's affecting the kick, but in a higher register, not so much in the lows. I'm a big fan of this. If you want like a bit crushed kind of sound, that could be really handy. Let's bring that down to about 20%. So let's try adding in some stress. Now this is where it starts to sound like a big compressed, distorted sound. I quite like that. Let's bring that down a little bit. And what about the drive? Just adds noise, I think. What if we try... So that auto is really important, because otherwise I would have, you know, very nearly could have deafened some of you there. So that's really important. And of course, when you use auto gain, you can also use the level to adjust it a little bit as well, so that's really handy. Just to remind you what it sounded like originally, you know, undistorted. And then what about without oversampling? I don't know, does the high end sound cleaner maybe? I'm not sure. I can't really pinpoint what that's doing, but I'm not a scientician, am I? So that's fine. Let's pull up frequency and see if we can see what it's doing. There we go. So if we pull these back a little bit. So let's add thickness. I think it's just a denser low end, isn't it? What if we start adding... If we add these in a little bit. And slowly move tone up. Let's see what that does. Oh, I'm on bypass. I was like, it's not doing anything. Absolute fool. It's sort of hard to really read what's happening there, I guess, because we've got so many different sounds going on. Because it's a drum kit, it's a very dense sound anyway. So let's maybe try opening up something like... I just opened something that's going to take ages to load. Oh no, it's only Hallian. Okay. My computer is starting to struggle a little bit these days. We're just going to open up Retrolog, and we're just going to loop a section of sine wave. I'm going to turn the volume down because this is going to be really annoying. Let's go middle C-ish. So a nice pure sine wave, middle C. Let's open up some analysis. What can we use? I'm going to pause that because that's going to get really annoying. What we got? There might be an easier way to read it, in fact, if we use some of the analyzer tools. What do we got? Okay, actually, if I make that just one long sine wave. Cool. That's a nice pure sound. We're using sine wave because sine wave is one of the purest sounds you can have. Essentially, it's such a pure tone that it basically doesn't exist in nature, which is a fun little factoid for you there. I don't really need it stereo. There we go. Let's add on. Where's it gone? Rocket powered sound. That's in between Native Instruments and Steinberg, so I can barely see it. Let's add him over there. Alrighty. So that's our starting point. If we... Oh yeah, you can really hear the difference there, can't you? So, what's interesting is you'll notice that we started off with like these little little curves up to the fundamental frequency here. Those get significantly wider. In fact, I'm going to make that a little bit louder. Over here. And we also see that some other harmonics start to emerge. So we had that one and that one. This third harmonic got a big boost, and it also saw the emergence of these as well. So what if we change the tone a little bit? That's interesting. So it kind of, you can see like these come and go. So if we move this up, okay, this second frequency is now higher than the fundamental one, which is interesting. It's like an octave higher. So it's kind of, in this instance, almost like acting like an octave, like a pitch shifter. That's really nice. And then what if we bring in a bit of the stress? And again, you can see these upper harmonics kind of increasing as well. So the lower it is, it looks a bit like you have fewer upper harmonics, but the harmonics you do have are a lot wider, which is essentially what distortion plugins do. We also have like a little bit of low-end rumble here as well, which actually gets higher if we do that. What about the drive control? That's just a whole load of high-end stuff. That's really fun. I think the tone control might be really fun to automate, so perhaps we'll get onto that in just a second. And of course, that's what it looked like to begin with. And it's a little bit annoying because it's only a sine wave. What happens if we have a different kind of waveform, I wonder? Let's try a triangle. Because that by default has quite a bit more high-end information anyway. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right, let's have a little bit of a play. Let's try and make something together here. So that's kind of covered what Thickify is for, what it does, what all the controls do. Where am I going to use Thickify? I mean, you're about to find out. But like I said earlier, I think distortion is really important. I like using distortion. I have a few different plugin options. If you've watched the stream for like any amount of time, you'll probably have noticed me using Driver by Native Instruments. And the thing about Driver is it's cool, but it's a lot. Like, it's a lot of sound, and I've noticed quite often that it's not actually what I'm after. It's too bold of an effect. I think Thickify might be like a nice halfway house between Driver and nothing. So I think that's where I'm gonna go. If I want like an extreme amount of chaos, then I'm going to use Thickify. If I want more like a medium amount of chaos, I'm just going to adjust this so it's exactly the same size. There you go. Ooh. There you go. If I want a medium amount of chaos, I'm probably going to use Thickify, and I think I'm probably going to need a medium amount of chaos more than I need a chaotic amount of chaos. Okay, rad. Let's make a little bit of something. Where to begin? Where to begin? Let's make like a... So we've got a little bit of a drum beat there. I think we can slow that down, like, significantly. I'm going to get rid of some of those hi-hats. I'm going to create a little bit more of like a Bonham-esque pattern. Oops. Let's go a little bit faster, or even slower, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm after. Even slower, even slower. Maybe something like that. I'm going to put everything slightly behind the hi-hat. Or other way, maybe. Cool. Let's have a little look. I think maybe there's just a bit too much reverb on that snare. I've also lowered the tuning of the kick drum so we get like a bit more low end out of that. So what if I were to then shove EQ on here? Or if I swap them? Yeah, I think I prefer that way around. I'm going to lower the snare mix a little bit. Nice. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be our drum sound. Then what else are we going to add? I wonder. Let's go for like a clav or something. I'm just going to mute. I'm just going to pause the drums. Oops. And we're going to... Ooh, that's wonky. Here we go. Everything's... This is the magic of live stream, folks. Everything goes really smoothly, like 100% of the time. I'll put my coffee over there. Oh yeah, the sound's still loading a little bit. Let's shove on Thickify onto the clav, because I think that's going to be really funny. So we'll go like... a little bit more stress, a little less drive. That kind of pattern might work, because we might have that kind of in the lower register. Because we don't want too much in that that sort of sub bass register, because actually the kick drum's doing a lot of the work in that regard. So I don't think we don't need to worry about that too much. That kind of thing might work. What if we just turn off these filters as well? That's the pattern we'll go with. I'll type it in because my playing is awful. Clav. So that was down here, wasn't it? That would be faster than that. Get it. Da-da. even faster. I wonder if that's in the right place. Okay, so it's actually going to start. It's on the beat. Yeah, it is there. Maybe it's triplets. Yeah, it might be triplets. Let's try that. Like I said, I'm not a scientist. Perhaps not. We'll keep playing with it until we get it. Or actually, you know what? I might actually just try and record it in. Oh, it's slow in that, isn't it? Cannot play. Let's try that. Put that there. Okay, what if I just quantize? Let's go ba da da. Yeah, I think that's the pattern. It just sounds a bit pants because it's that slow, doesn't it? So we'll maybe try and speed it up if we can. Da, 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 da. So we'll go halvesies like that. It's alright, it's growing on me. Maybe it needs to be a little bit faster. There we go. Cool. So let's come up with an alternate phrase for that. I'm just going to cut that so it actually fits with that pattern. There we go. So then let's do something where this is a lot lower. So something kind of the right hand. Or we go. Maybe it needs to go down to B. Imperator, how's it going, buddy? Ooh, maybe chromatic like that. Maybe have those like nice and short and snappy as well. Let's make that a 7. Just add some thirds in for a bit of flavour. So I think maybe we wanna swap that over a little bit. Get rid of this riff here. Have something else take it over from that point. So I think we want to do two things there. I think we want to automate Thickify in some way, because I think this section, the yellow bit, I think that sounds really nice, but then here we maybe want to bring it back a little bit. So let's see what we can automate here. So insert Thickify thickness is going to be the main thing. That works. We'll also bring down the stress a little bit. I think actually we want to bring it down almost entirely. Oops. we show all used automation. Ooh, crashy, crashy. You can do it, Cubase. You can make it. Or can you? Is little animated Johnny too much for my processor? Let's find out. It's making sound, which is a good sign, I think. There it is. Just needed a minute. Cool. So I also want to do something with the tone. So maybe in this second blues section, we do something gentler with these chords. Something like this, maybe. Going to add in a left hand as well. And then we'll go ba, ba. Yeah, that probably needs to be on that beat, doesn't it? I know it does want to be here, I think. Two, three, four, ba. So then we're going to automate the tone around a little bit. Going to mute the drums because actually that's getting a little much. So we're going insert Thickify tone. I suppose it's not going to have much of an impact without everything else, is it? So yeah, so if we turn thickness up for that one. I think the drive needs to come up there, I think, more than anything else. So we'll go... And I like that because it just gives it a little bit of movement. Where was it before? Just gives it like a subtle bit of movement there. I think that's quite nice. So let's change up, let's automate a bit of the drums as well, because they're sort of dominating a bit. So we'll maybe go... gentler snares, I think. Something like that, perhaps. Let's do this and then the other way. Yeah, that's nice. And we're going to change that up a tiny bit. Because I think here we want a little bit of difference as well. I think mostly it's going to be the stress there, isn't it? We just want to pull it back a little bit. Maybe it needs to be a bit more sudden than that. Because if there's like a fill there or something, if we go ka-ka, ka-ka. Actually, that sort of works if we do that. That's nice. So we have kind of a sudden change there. I need to copy those. Copy, paste, and the automation goes with it. Wonderful. So then we're just going to do that kind of change there, and we'll deal with that a bit later. And then if we bring down the actual thick setting, that's going to give us some maneuverability in terms of what we do with a bass instrument of some kind. Nice. I'm going to duplicate this setting. And then maybe we have that kind of slowly come in here. That's nice. So we just need something kind of in the lower register to sort of yeah, take up that bass range, I think. So let's go for I don't use Harmor that much. Let's see what Harmor's got. So let's have a little look for... A high end I don't really like. What else we got? I don't know. Let's maybe have a little look at Retrolog or something. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's add in the mod wheel just a little bit. Yeah, like that. Like that or something. Yeah, that's a nice pattern. Does it fit? It's alright, it dominates a little bit. That's quite nice. That's kind of subtle in there. I don't like the amount of movement that's happening stereo-wise, so I'm going to go into Imager. Just going to restrain it ever so slightly. Let's see if we can get away with a little bit of Thickify as well. That's quite nice. I like that because you've got that low end maintained, and because we've got the imager on there, we've got a nice stereo spread for like the high end distortion on that. I think maybe we want like a little bit of a like a high-end ping pong delay for when it does that upwards bit. So I'm going to go Steinberg ping pong delay, a low filter up to 150, maybe 200. So we're going to automate that in. We're going to put that post fader actually. That's nice. I think then we want a bit of a change of some kind, don't we? So I'm going to add these here. Do something like this. Yeah. Okay. Do we copy that pattern here in the bass? That's too low, okay. Maybe we don't need that low end on the clav if this is doing that job, or maybe we need a different setting here. Let's start off. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with that bass line, but like quite low down. We're going to automate the we're going to automate Thickify to bring that down. Just the thickness is going to come down like so. There we go. So I think what we then want to do is have a later point over here where we've got an orange section that's got a lot more going on. So I'm just going to show used automation on all of these. So that means that I can unlock them. and then I'm able to copy, oops, paste, and duplicate. Right, so we're going to do the automation into those points to make sure that's all good and stuff, and lock them up. Likewise, the automation down of some effects. Yeah, that's good. And then we're going to go in and out. Yeah. Because what I want to do is keep that same basic idea, but what I want is for the clav to do something kind of higher and the bass to do something like a lot lower. So I think actually we're just going to start with that. So we're going to go B. To be octave higher, and then we'll see if Thickify can do what it says it can do. So for the clav there, we're going to bring the volume down a little bit. We're also going to, I'm going to colour this so it's obvious it's a different section, because it's based on the same thing, but it's going to be slightly different. Tone's going to go up, so the clav is kind of less intrusive. Stress is going to come down. But not by much. Thickness is going to come down. And then volume is going to come down a little bit as well. So then with the bass synth, I think we want thickness basically all the way up. That's quite nice. Bring stress up a little bit. That's quite nice, actually. Gain's probably fine where it is. Tone down a bit. There it is. I think we want just a little bit of wobble in there or something. we're going to automate that in. So I like the clav sound. I like the distortion, but I don't like the kind of the low end of that. So I wonder if we just kind of cut some of it out. Treat it like a guitar, I think. Guitar. Yeah, why not? Because it's still got that nice distortion to it. But it's not like as intrusive as it was. So far, in terms of Thickify, I'm really enjoying it on the drums most of all, and sort of automating it in and out. Ah, there we go. That was weird. That's sort of where I'm enjoying this the most. So I wonder if it's... something that's going to sound best on kind of instruments with a bit of room in them already, just to kind of, I don't know. Because I think that's the thing with a lot of synthesizers. You can already do an awful lot within most synthesizers to boost that kind of low end, but you can't really with an acoustically modeled instrument or an acoustic instrument. So I'd be really interested to try this on vocals or something. But like, I'm already thinking of a handful of situations where I've used something like Driver by Native Instruments where actually the effect was too much. So I might go back and kind of replace some of those effects with Thickify. So something that I'm really eager to try out is... There's an instrument that I have that I like quite a lot. I would love to play more of, but it feels like it should have more low end than it does. So we're going to try Thickify on an 8-string guitar. It's been waiting there this whole time because I figured at some point we would. So I'm going to record something. I'm not like the greatest 8-string player in the world, but we're going to try recording something in, and then we're going to see what we can do with it. Because I always feel like the 8-string should have more density, more low end than it has, and you know, it could just be that I'm not very good at what I'm doing, or it could be that Thickify is exactly what I've been looking for this whole time. So I'm excited to find out. So we want mono there. Are you making sound? It is making sound. Let's record. I don't know, what am I going to do? Just something stupid metal like that. Da, 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 da. That'll do. Nice and simple. So, What I would normally do is use some combination of guitar amp and bass amp. So let's open up Native Instruments. I use quite a lot for this sort of thing. So if we go into Guitar Rig, we can open up. I mean, we can use a bass amp. Which sort of does the job, but I feel like it should have more chug. So like you can put a guitar amp through a bass speaker. Oh, let's go for Rammstein. But mostly what you get there is fizz. So what if we try the bass amp? Just conscious of this peaking quite a lot. Let's maybe... Yeah, let's just get that there so it's not peaking. But the output volume is... Let's try that. Cool. There's a little bit of room on that sound as well. So let's try Thickify with the 8-string. What if it's the other way, so before the amp? Okay. Good. Okay. That's really interesting. Because what... Okay, I'm going to do... you wait there. Because that's really interesting. That it worked, basically. I'm gonna bear with me while I try adding that to like an actual project that I've been working on, because that might simplify things an awful lot. And then good news, rocket powered sound. You have cornered the gent market. That would be... That's a whole new market just opened up for you right there. Now, of course, the problem with this is that when I actually release this stuff, this video might get... Actually, no, I just won't release it to YouTube. Ignore me, I'm like whittering to myself. Okay, here we go. So, a few years ago, I put out these couple tracks when I got the Cort KX 508 MS. I put out a couple tracks, just me playing around with stuff, basically, with the 8-string. And now that I've changed distributors, sorry, when I say put out, I mean I put them on BandLab and places, but not Spotify, not Deezer or Apple, not any of the actual distribution platforms. So I've been working for a while now that I've changed distributor. It's really easy for me to do Spotify and that. I've been working for a while on new mixes of some of these tracks because they could be heftier, and I'm really interested to see if this solves a density problem that I've been having. So this is a track called Cake Smash, which you might have seen. Let me just make sure that Reactor and everything is loaded up, because it has a habit of not. That looks about right, I think. So it's got a really nice gentle intro. And well, you can see where the guitars kick in, can't you? So this is an actual Blue Alatar project file that I've been working on and trying to get really, really thick guitars. And like nearly right, especially having the sub bass kind of in there as well. So I wonder if so it's hard to know if the problem's in the guitars or in the bass. So let's play around with the bass to begin with. If I had it on repeat, that might be helpful. Because I got stuff like the quadrifuzz, which kind of automates in a little bit. So let's add where vibrato comes in there. So I guess here we'll go rocket powered sound. So it's kind of hard to hear by itself. Because also we're adding that upper information, so I wonder if we do the imager thing again. Hey Kristen, how's it going? That's I'm doing well, thank you. I'm pushing the boundaries of what is acceptable once again. That sounds a lot nicer, but it's not really affecting that's affecting the sub bass, isn't it, rather than the bass, rather than the guitar itself. So I wonder if we do it to the guitars instead. Because how are these? Where are the amps? I recorded it with amps. Okay, that's not the end of the world. Let's just shove it here and see what happens. I mean, that's definitely heavier. What about onto the bass? It's like it's phasing. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So I've got a bit of a phase issue going on there between the bass and the guitars, which I suppose makes sense. Which I only seem to have... That's a bit better. So what if... I suppose that would have to be automated in, wouldn't it? Or maybe not. Let's have a listen from the start again. So I wonder if we're getting phase issues because we're putting this Thickify on more than one thing. So I might only put it on these most extreme outside tracks. I'm just trying stuff out. What are these two doing? Okay. Interesting. I'm just going to shove it between those because I don't really know. And I'll put it afterwards. Yeah, it still feels like we're getting a bit of cancellation or something. So it's definitely... I feel like it's doing the right sort of thing, but I need to work out why we're getting that phase issue. It could just be listening on headphones. It might be fine. Hang on. Or it could be because my speakers have been on this whole time. Let's try that. Nah, I can still hear it. I keep doing that recently. It's really annoying. I think I'll definitely have to automate it out there. So we'll go Thickify, thickness. I think, yeah, I think that's gonna take a little bit of trial and error, but I think there's something in this for really sort of heavy guitars. Yeah, we're going to need to keep that. I wonder if we could replace that with Thickify. Apparently not. What if it goes after? Oh, that's interesting. There's like a delay on. Probably get rid of that. And then just for comparison, without Thickify on the guitars and bass. It's not as good, is it? Well, that was an adventure. Right. So now I know that. The good news is I've agreed to do 2 streams heavily featuring Thickify. Oh, bugger, that's why there's phasing. Because there's a bloody pre-master track down there. Idiot. Idiot. Yeah, okay, right. That was starting to really annoy me because I couldn't work out where it was. If only I'd scrolled down earlier. Back to what I was saying. I'm doing another Thickify stream in a few weeks' time. March 7th, in about a month's time. And the reason I'm doing it so far away is because I've got like another sponsored stream coming up soon. And I want to kind of spread it out a bit. You're going to be seeing Thickify again. Like, I'm not like 100%. I think anytime I do anything with like down-tuned guitars or extended range guitars, I think I'm going to be using Thickify. Either, probably not as the distortion pedal, but definitely as an effect to kind of enhance that low end. And I wish I'd realised this like an hour and a half ago, because that would have been the whole stream. So I wonder what will be happening in the next Thickify stream on March 7th. Good stuff. I'm just going to drop you another link, because we didn't have enough links in the chat earlier. There is a discount code right here. That's going to get you 10% off Thickify, as well as pay me a little bit of money, basically. You don't pay any more, you actually pay less. 10% less. I just said that. I'm really good at advertising. That's the thing. So thank you to the good folks at Rocket Powered Sound for considering me and sending this plugin over. I'm going to use the ass out of it. Not a phrase I've ever used before, but definitely one I regret saying. Thanks so much for hanging out. The next stream is Monday? Yeah, today's Saturday, so the next stream is Monday, the 31st of January, 8 PM UK time. I'll be doing this again. You maybe will see Thickify again. Who knows? Not me. Haven't planned it yet. Alrighty. Take care, wonderful people. Toodle-oo.